And one of the players we'll be seeing in this one, Luol Deng.
Deng is a versatile small forward, Kevin, able to do so many things that help you win games. He can score in transition. He can knock down that jump shot off of one or two dribbles. And then a very engaged defender who's got length and really good fundamental technique at that end of the floor.
I agree wholeheartedly there. And he's also a nice complementary scorer. I mean, able to knock down the spot-up jumper, a steady 15 to 18 points per game scorer. Pretty much his whole career. Rock solid and steady.
So for the Mavericks, their last game, a loss to Philadelphia. And they took that loss to just 1 point. Those close ones hurt the most.
But, you know, they don't have anything to be ashamed about from that game. It was a good effort from them all around. They just needed another break or two that just didn't happen.
Yeah, you know, both teams can't win. You know, it comes down to a play or two either way. I thought both deserved to win, but only one could. I don't think there's any question about it. Derrick Rose is the most athletic point guard in league history. I mean, he's so tough to stay in front of. He's quick. He's explosive. He's strong. He's developed his outside shooting ability, and he's really become just impossible to deal with defensively.
Here's Hamilton, and that one's good. Hamilton's got his first points of the game.
That is a tough layup with a guy right on him. Good defense, but better offense.
Here's Carter. That's good. Going back to what Clark was saying about Derrick Rose, they say for great scorers, the best thing you can do is keep the ball out of their hands. But when it's a point guard, Steve, like Rose, how do you keep him from the ball? He's always got the ball in his hands, bringing it up court.
Yeah, it's impossible. I mean, you can't keep the ball out of his hands. What you try to do with Rose, Kevin, is stay in front of him and not let him get in the paint. Easier said than done, of course, but make him a jump shooter. He's really improved in that area, but still, if you force him into jump shots, then you're going to be doing okay.
Boozer, defended by Kaman, fades away. They get it back. The kick out to Deng. Pass to Hamilton. Outside Rose. Goes back up. The shot is off. Now Dallas takes it the other way. And going against Chicago, their first meeting of the season.
Yeah, these two teams aren't going to spend much time on the floor together this season. There's tonight's game and then just one more down the road between them.
Screen by Boozer. Rose goes in. Back to Noah. There's the killer two-headed slam.
Pretty significant laps there on the defensive end, guys.
Yeah, those are the ones. You just can't allow that.
No, if you're giving up dunks and layups defensively, you're in huge trouble.
First quarter of ball, almost 2.5 minutes in. And on the subject Steve brought up, Clark, do you think the crowd is more or less into it when it's an opponent they'll only see once in a season?
I'm not sure if that really has any bearing on how excited the crowd is. They may not get as fired up as they would for a conference rival, but other than that, I think it's pretty much the same for the fans.
But it is fun to see different teams coming in.
Without question, the energy in the building is always at full throttle.
A chance now to go to Dorisburg, who had a chance to talk with Rick Carlisle.
This will be their first game of the season against Chicago, and they know they'll be dealing with one of the best rebounding teams in the league. He said this is one of these games that test you. Guys have to box out every trip, every shot, or things can go bad in a hurry. We'll learn a lot about where we are as a team. Let's see if they can match the Bulls on the glass, guys.
Thanks, Doris.
You know, the Bulls have been a regular fixture in the playoffs since joining the league, literally. I mean, with the help of Michael Jordan, they have become, along with the Celtics and Knicks, one of the most storied franchises in the Eastern Conference.
In low to Boozer, stolen by Brand, and out of bounds as the Bulls gain possession. Here we are in November, and let's see how things are going out east in the early season. Taking a look at Brooklyn, and of course the Bulls. Right now they're 5 spots below them.
Seeing where the Bulls are, I mean, this team has been kind of hit or miss to start the season so far. Not really playing up to the high standards they normally expect.
Yeah, an elite team, you know, I think they understand they can play better than this, and they will as the season wears on. They've just got to find their rhythm.
Here is Brand after Rip Hamilton scored, and that is good. And with 6 banners hanging up in Chicago, the city has really cultivated a lot of pride and a winning tradition here with the Bulls. And you know, Steve, that goes a long way. You were a Bull player at one time. You know all about that pride.
Yeah, no better place to play in the NBA than Chicago. You know, when you're winning, the whole city loves it. Not Obviously, Michael Jordan was the main reason for that era. But so much history now for the Bulls, and they sell out game after game. Unbelievable fan support.
Here's Marion, and he slams that one down.
Muscle flex time on that jam.
He wanted these people, Steve, to hear that one.
He got that right. Going up with some force.
And so here is Chicago following the score by Dallas. And the first time out of the game called for Chicago. They put up a nice win against the Bucks the last time out.
And in terms of their offense in that game, guys, it was straight out of the textbook, Clark.
Yeah, and a flat-out clinic, wasn't it? I mean, just look at that final score.
Now here is Hamilton. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Milwaukee.
And for a point guard, you love LUV. That finish. Wow.
Yeah, he's really been able to get off his feet. And Scott, something to watch.
Incredible athleticism, both laterally and vertically.
And here's a look at some of the most multi-dimensional players in the NBA. Not only can they pass, they can fill it up. The highest scoring point guards this season. Fifth best, Derrick Rose.
Well, this is a collection of maybe the most well-rounded players in the league. To see those kinds of scoring numbers from the point guard position is crazy.
Yeah, it's wacko. That's sort of the era we're in right now, though. A point guard who consistently takes things into his own hands is far more common than it used to be. Some people may not like it, but that's the way of the modern NBA. Change is inevitable, and I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing.
That's good. Rose has got 8 points.
Yeah, and he's been a player who always saves his best for last, Kevin. Absolutely thrives under pressure. And, you know, when some guys back down with the game coming down to the wire, he seems to be the one to take it up a notch.
And let's give him some more credit where more credit is due for his role as a team leader. I mean, he's somebody who brings out the best in his teammates whenever he's on the floor. Looky here, looky here. How about that one? That play. Take that play and put it in the alley-oop textbook for future reference.
Perfectly done. He put it on a platter for him.
He sure did. And how about the touch on the finish, too? That was really nicely done. Pretty good defense there. I mean, that's a shot that he can make, but they really challenged him.
And it's Carter missing.
This has been a strong statement by them, the way they've come out and attacked the glass early.
Yeah, I agree, Clark. I love the physical play, the fact that they're taking the game right to their opponents.
Now here is Hamilton, averaging 13 points a contest. Boozer over Kaman, and it's Boozer that time in the assist from Richard Hamilton. Boozer's got his second bucket tonight.
Well, everyone seems to have the hot hand here early on.
You know, if they keep up this scoring pace, we'll definitely see some big point totals from both of these teams.
And here hits it.
What a way to close the quarter. Huge three right there.
Yeah, and that's a deflator for the other team.
And a high-scoring first quarter. Both teams really filling it up. Welcome back, folks. We have a close game here at the start of the second quarter of play. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Mavericks?
I was impressed with their transition game, guys. They really got out and ran the lanes.
Yeah, they did. I mean, no better way to get easy buckets than through fast breaks.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor, all fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. So for Chicago right now, Rose and Rip Hamilton man the backcourt. Down low, it's Gibson and Noah, and it's Dang in at the three. And a chance here to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Guys, Chris Kaman coming to Dallas this offseason in free agency. And interesting to see him playing alongside Dirk Nowitzki in the front court. They have some experience playing together on the German national team. Though Kaman was born in the United States, his great-grandparents were German, and he acquired dual citizenship in 2008. A one-year contract for Kaman leaves the Mavs with some flexibility, and he can certainly help them inside, guys.
And at 7 feet tall, he's got the size to do it. Thanks, Doris.
That's how you have to attack the double team. Find the open man, get the ball out of your hands. Well, for Chris Kaman, last season it was a transition year for him. Traded from the Clippers to New Orleans, and then he was put on the trade block by the Hornets. I'm sure he's glad to leave that uncertainty behind with a more settled situation here.
They get the rebound. Rose kicks to Dang. He feeds it to Gibson. Stolen by Carter. Noah against Wright. Here's Marion, and he lays it straight in. Now it's a 5-point Maverick lead.
Real persistence on his part. Stayed with the play and cashed in with the second chance points.
And for Kaman, an unrestricted free agent coming into this season.
And that can be an exciting time or a pressure-packed time for a player, depending on how he handles that. The chance to go to a team that really wants and needs your talent, identifies you as somebody that could fit in with their group. It shows you just how valued and respected you are around. Oh, get it! Oh, watch out now. All business there, not messing around one bit. Flushed it right with one hand.
He never does, Clark. He never does.
Well, that's kind of his trademark, those slams like that one.
And that was Sprite bringing you the close-up on that big-time play. Dang with the screen for Rose. On the wing, Dang. The Mavericks pull it in. Marion's got his third rebound on the night. And at home for the next game, it'll be Detroit pulling into town. That game will be a quick pit stop before hitting the road again.
You know, a lot of people predicted that the Mavericks defense would really collapse without Tyson Chandler last year after he left for New York as a free agent. But their defensive numbers were solid. They were really good. So the structure and the foundation that Rick Carlisle has built has been able to withstand some of those personnel losses.
Rose against Wright. And it's Rose penetrating. And O.J. Mayo pulls it down. Mayo's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Well, you look at the stats for the Mavs, Steve. And Dallas, the second-best team in the West when it came to opponent field goal percentage. Clark, that's a very good mark for them.
Excellent mark, Kevin. And they've come a real long way from when the Mavericks were viewed as a team that only scores and doesn't really play any deep. Rick Carlisle, one of the outstanding coaches in the league, really helped reshape them.
And as Steve said, that's including losing Chandler.
Yeah.
You know, they were able to still play good D.
That's right.
Carlos Boozer's checked in for Chicago. Elton Brand's checked in for Dallas. Rose kicks to Hamilton. He dishes it to Dang. Kicks to Rose.
Well, what I love about Tom Thibodeau, guys, is just how hard his teams play. And you know they're prepared because Thibodeau is so meticulous in his preparation. But the guys play hard for him, and you can tell they really enjoy him and they really like him because they really get after it for him.
There's the pass to Boozer. It's good. This time the assist from Rose. And now just a 1-point Maverick lead. Mayo dishing to Brand. It's stolen by Rose. And here we go. The Bulls fast break. And he misses the go-ahead basket. And for Coach Tom Thibodeau, you know, Steve, it took a long time to land a head coaching position. Some say his intense style scared off some teams. They worried about his gruff demeanor. I think just the opposite. I think that, you know, a lot of teams were welcoming him. He was going to bring some order, some discipline, some structure.
Well, he just didn't have the personality that some teams are looking for in terms of, you know, media relationships or, you know, sound bites, that kind of stuff. And he didn't play. So he was really a guy who had to work his way up the ladder. Obviously has turned into one of the best coaches in the league. But you know, it's tougher for guys who didn't come from an NBA background.
And here's Mayo for 3. Rebound by Carlos Boozer.
Not able to find it here in the second. He's off stride and off track just a bit after that one he had earlier.
Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris.
Guys, it's never been easy for a player to transition from one team to another, but in the case of Rick Hamilton here in Chicago, it's been relatively simple. He says, this team is awesome. Everyone loves each other and holds each other accountable. High praise from someone who has been part of an NBA title team, Kevin.
Well, Doris, that camaraderie is such a key part of winning basketball.
Boy, he's been so cool out there, composed, never rattled. I mean, a very steady contributor to the offense.
Heinrich passes to Noah. Over Kaman. Takes it up. And Boozer throws it down.
That's what he's all about. That's who he is, retrieving those misses and exploding right back to the bucket.
Prime example of it right there, no question. Good point, Clark.
Yeah, great rebounder and a great finisher, so that's a difficult combination to deal with for the defense.
Out to Marion. Bobois outside. Six to shoot. Outside Mayo. Jacks up a three. Rebound by the Bulls. They host the 76ers after this game, and that's the third of four straight played at home.
Now, I'll be looking forward to seeing how that Philadelphia game turns out, guys.
And so it's tied as we head to halftime. Folks, stick around here at halftime.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
It's Wednesday night, and we're almost over the hump. This is the 2K Sports Halftime. We've seen the Bulls slugging it out. They let them hang around so far. Now it's anybody's ball game. Derrick Rose off to a great start, carrying over from their win against the Bucks. Consistent shooting from the field, making well over 65% of his shots. Not a lot of guys put up a half a basketball like that. And for the Mavericks, also a strong start. Running and gunning out there, that's what fans love to see. Some great work out there by O.J. Mayo. He's got 10 points, and on the defensive side of the floor, he's definitely been contributing with some focused defensive work. Let's start by...
And arguably no greater sporting legend in Chicago history than Hall of Famer Michael Jordan as we see the statue erected in his honor. A fantastic game from Derrick Rose in this one.
Yeah, so far in this one, he's played a different role than normal, but, he's done a nice job as this team's playmaker here today.
And all of it's worked for the most part. I mean, he might not be known as a dime dropper, but after this game, he will be.
The Mavericks shooting really well, 54% from the floor.
And you could actually see it on the Bulls' faces and in the body language of the players last season when Rose tore his ACL, Kevin. It just took all of the wind out of their sails.
On the court for the Mavericks, Carter and Marion fill out the wings. Elton Brand is out there with Chris Kaman, and it's Mayo in at the guard position.
Boy, he is such a ridiculous dunker.
High riser, no doubt about it.
Well, we've come to expect plays like that from him, and still, they never get old to watch.
What's interesting is that Rose had missed a lot of time last year with the team in the regular year, but the Bulls weathered the storm. But once they knew it was gone from them, having him in the lineup, I'm sure they felt like it's a different story now. And Steve, they acted differently themselves.
Well, it's one thing to weather the storm during the regular season, but to deal with the absence of a superstar in the playoffs is a totally different deal. And you're right, you could see the difference in the Bulls once the playoffs started in terms of their belief in how far they could go.
Here is Rose, 14 points for him. With the lead pass, Noah, and so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact and he'll shoot two.
When I think about Joakim Noah, the first word that comes to my mind is passion. The guy plays with so much energy and emotion. And that's really his best quality. He's got those long arms. He's a great rebounder. But it's how hard he plays that makes him so valuable.
The first free throw is good. You talk about that passion for Noah, a guy with a real joy for life. He doesn't take himself too seriously.
And there's a humility that actually took root, I think, after his first year in the league, Kevin. He says outright, I'm not the most talented guy, so I just have to outwork people. So when guys understand who they are and what makes them special and effective, then that goes a long way towards them being productive.
The Mavericks have gone 3 of 3 from the field since halftime. Rose with the double team. Lets the three fly, and there's O.J. Mayo on the assist by Carter. Carter's got 3 assists in the game. Hamilton outside. Good. Hamilton's got 8 points.
Hot start for this club coming out of halftime. That's 3 in a row now.
Kaman kicks to Mayo. From deep three-point range, and the rebound goes to Boozer. Boozer's got 5 rebounds tonight.
You know, as tight as this game is, you have to like their chances the way they've been rebounding.
They have a pretty good margin in that department, so they've got to continue to hit the boards hard, and it'll pay off for them in the end.
Mayo with it. Now Hamilton defending. Brand kicks to Marion. Outside Mayo. Lets it go with the three. Again, Mayo missing.
Kevin, I didn't like that defensive effort at all, but they're lucky he missed it.
Yeah, they were very lucky defensively because there was some miscommunication there. They left him wide open.
Well, defense is a big part of these players' games as the top shot blockers among small forwards this season. Fifth best, Luol Deng.
And that's a group of perhaps the most well-rounded defenders in the league. Solid on the perimeter with the ability to block shots on the inside.
And that's the ideal makeup of a wing defender. The perimeter defense is really a requirement. I mean, you've got to be able to do that, but you can also block shots like these guys can. You become even more valuable.
Rose goes in. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot two.
Last season, the Bulls were a team with legitimate championship aspirations. The best record in the league over the regular season, but the loss of Derrick Rose in the first round of the playoffs to a knee injury set them back and pushed back their timeline to a title for sure.
And even Joakim Noah got injured in that series too against Philadelphia. It sunk the Bulls. Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Taj Gibson's checked in for Noah. Jimmy Butler comes in for Luol Deng. And it's Heinrich in for Richard Hamilton. And Beaubois kicks to Crowder. Ball's knocked loose. Oh, and here we go with Gibson. Nobody back. And Rose throws it down home.
That's taking it strong right there.
Yeah, finishing in style.
You can feel a sense of anticipation when he heads for the hoop because that's what he can do.
And the highlight reel replay brought to you by Sprite. Good stuff. Cunningham dishes it to Curry. Dallas moving the ball around. Here's Crowder. From outside, off the mark. And this Bulls team has been notable for its resiliency. Even missing Rose, Steve, they were very tough last season.
Yeah, that's definitely cause for confidence for this team. But nonetheless, I mean, I think for them to bring a title back to the city of Chicago, there's no doubt they're going to need Derrick Rose playing at 100%.
Back to Heinrich. The dish to Boozer. And a great assist by Heinrich as that one goes in. 10 points for Carlos Boozer.
Boy, they've been getting a lot of their points on those mid-range jumpers.
Yeah, that's a shot that can come and go. Not an easy shot, but they're doing a nice job knocking them down.
Seeing the Mavs in the playoffs is something that is almost a given at this point. I mean, they've made it each season since 2001.
Going back to Dallas, you do take for granted that somehow, some way, they'll find their way into the postseason, Steve. But the results, obviously, were they just got in, but they couldn't do anything once they got there.
Well, I give Mark Cuban a ton of credit for what Clark talked about, just the longevity of their success. And a lot of that has to do with Dirk Nowitzki as well. But Cuban had a vision. He's put together an amazing franchise, and Dirk has been the superstar to build around. What a run it's been for Dallas.
Cunningham passes to Keenan. It's hauled in by the Bulls. Boozer's got 7 rebounds in the game. Here's Rose. Good work defensively by Marion.
Some rugged defense there against one of the stronger finishers in the game.
Stolen by Boozer. Now here's Rose, the fast break opportunity. And it's Boozer that time, and the assist by Rose. Rose has got assist number 7 for him tonight.
That's turning good defense into quick offense, Clark.
And that's the way to operate. Get up the court quickly. Don't waste any time. Whenever you have a chance to go fast.
Hamilton kicks to Boozer. And the layup falls. Boozer's got 16.
They keep going right back to the paint. And who can blame them? I mean, they're getting it done in there.
Yeah, 3 of their last 5 buckets, guys, have come from inside the
He's definitely showing some real sweet dunking skills here.
Are you kidding me? Oh, my gosh. What a play.
Yeah, that was spectacular.
Here's Mayo. Solid shot from the distance of about 14 feet. 15 points in the game.
I think he's done his part to try to keep him in this game. It's been a solid effort from him, guys.
Hamilton outside. Feeds it to Dang. Good. Dang's got 4 this quarter.
Guys, that time he went for the fancy finish for us there, man. That was sweet.
Mayo with it. He's got 15. Brand, a screen on Rose. Passes it to Keenan. The feed to Cunningham. Back to Kamen. Dishes it to Mayo. He got it up. And that's not going to go. The points coming in bunches as we wrap up the third quarter. It's been a good.
Next.
Welcome back as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. Who's had the Sprite uncontainable game in this one? Well, let's send it out to our Dorisburg. Doris?
And Kevin, for that great stretch the Bulls put together, they get the Uncontainable Game Award. Something must have been said about defense at halftime because they came out and locked things up in the third quarter. A great effort on D, and it has them sitting pretty here in the fourth.
Okay, Doris, thank you. And that was quite a run, guys. That made a big impact on where we are right now.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say, Kevin. It was a major turning point. You know, they really hit on something that in the blink of an eye had them scoring almost at will.
Well, you got to share the credit for that kind of run. I mean, you can't just say it was all about offense. There was some stingy, stiff defense being played, too.
So it Rose on the bench. Here's the 5 for Tom Thibodeau.
Oh, my goodness. What a huge play. Don't do that to him. That was fantastic. Wow.
And Clark, the degree of difficulty.
Major.
That was amazing.
That was a nice replay brought to you by Sprite. Mavericks trailed by 10. He kicks to Carter. Here's the 3. That's good. Carter's got 19 points.
Both of these teams have really stepped it up offensively.
You know what, Steve? They haven't missed a chance, and I think both teams really know what's at stake on every possession here.
Lets it fly, and it's Chicago scoring again.
Offensively, just hammering away in the paint.
And that's 10 straight points inside, too.
Releases. No good. And Chicago will go the other way with the ball. He feeds it to Bellinelli. Over Brand. Boozer dishes to Gibson. Outside Butler. Another shot. Boba pulls it in. Stolen by Boozer. And that one's good. 20 points for him.
And all 10 of their last points have come inside the paint, so defensively you've got to make an adjustment.
Yeah, and you got to do a little more to stop it, too. I mean, it's coming way too easy for him. At some points, you just got to buck up and say it's not going to happen.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Yes, thanks, guys. I got a chance to hear what Rick Carlisle was saying to the team. He is not pleased with the score and implored them to try to make a push right now, saying, we don't have time, fellas. If we can't make a dent soon, I'll have to pull the plug. Pretty blunt, Kevin. Back to you.
And thank you, Doris.
You know, Sean Marion still is an amazing athlete, even in his mid-30s. So quick off his feet, and he can play either the 3 or the 4 position. And a versatile defender, excellent team player.
The first one falls.
And, guys, I think the key for Marion being able to play the 3 or 4 position is he's a terrific rebounder for a small forward. So you can play him at the 4 in a small ball situation and not lose too much on the glass. That's valuable when you've got a small forward that rebounds like a power forward.
You know, one thing that hasn't changed about Sean Marion as he's gotten older is he can still cover any player on the floor. So much versatility because of his speed, his length, his athleticism, and he just understands angles, too, and can guard inside or out.
Yeah, he has a definite spring in his step on defense that makes him tough to score on. I mean, even if you aren't being guarded by him, you're in danger because he's been known to track back on a turnover and deny would-be layup attempts. Well, he's been scoring pretty well on just a few attempts. It might help them out if he was a bit more assertive.
Tipped away and stolen by Mayo. Makes the alley-oop pass.
The alley-oop pass right into the layup. Outstanding play that time.
Absolutely. The technique couldn't have been any better.
Well, that's two guys who really love playing together, and it shows on that play.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over.
Well, O.J. Mayo stepping into the instant offense off the bench role for the Grizzlies last season, and it seemed to suit him quite well. I mean, a guy who can heat it up like that can hurt you from outside, and certainly a valuable part of their rotation, a guy that they counted on to produce points, and he did.
The D got there too late, and he'll go to the line. And you've got to give O.J. Mayo a lot of credit, Steve, accepting that bench role, not being a malcontent, and being a good team guy.
Yeah, former number 3 overall pick in the draft, but he showed that he's all about winning by accepting that role. And I think that's more important to teams than, seeing whether a guy will start or not. Will he accept his role, and will he finish games? That's what Mayo did.
They get a hand on it. Stolen by Brand. Goes up strong with one hand and flushes it down.
That was a nice, strong one-hand jam there.
Yeah, brought it back and ripped it down.
Yeah, that's how you do it. That's nice.
Dang with the bucket.
Can't pass up that kind of look.
Mavericks trailed by 12. Pass to Brand. Deflected. Carter, the pass to Mayo. Over Rose. Shot by Mayo is no good.
Well, they've built a big lead here so far, and a lot of it has to do with how well they've been rebounding.
Yeah, every time they make a stop, they're securing the rebound, and that's really allowed them to get out to this lead.
Then kicks to Rose. Over Carter. And the rebound goes to the Mavericks. Keenan's got 4 rebounds now tonight. And then Carter with the jam.
I'm not sure if any play is going to top that one.
Maybe the only play that could beat it is another alley-oop jam.
Yep.
Even then, it'd be hard to execute it any better than that one.
Rose with the ball. Now Mayo defending. Hamilton outside. He passes it to Boozer. He's against Brand. And it's Rose penetrating. And an emphatic dunk.
Now we're cooking with gas, partner. My goodness.
A breathtaking display of aerial supremacy, no doubt.
It's almost unfair, guys. I mean, when you can get up that high, that's crazy. Chris Kaman is a skilled 7-footer. I think very underrated as a player. He can rebound, defend, block shots, has some good post ability offensively as well. Ambidextrous around the rim.
And going back to Chris Kaman, it's tough to find good centers in this league, isn't it, Clark? My goodness.
Yeah, it's really hard because big guys either have 1 or 2 skills or lacking in many skills. And Kaman is a well-rounded player. He can block shots. He can score the ball with both hands. He's got a nice touch. He's tough. Those guys that bring his size and skill level are coveted players in this league.
And that's why you love this guy. I mean, tremendous work on the offensive boards. He just gets you second chance points.
Back to Rose. Guarded by Mayo. Rose dishes to Hamilton. Kicks to Rose. Stolen by Carter. From outside the arc. Gets it to go. Carter's got 24.
Turnover problems for them, and they've just looked lackluster out there.
Yeah, sometimes you have off games, but you always have to bring the effort, and I'm not sure I'm seeing that right now.
Hamilton kicks to Boozer. He dishes it to Noah. And the pass to Rose. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Boozer. Kaman with the defensive effort. The Mavericks have gone 7 of 11 from the floor in the final quarter so far. Been some solid looks for them. Here's Marion. It's hauled in by the Bulls. They push it up 4 on 3. Hamilton, guarded by Marion. Noah, got it. Good job in the low post. And the Bulls lead by 12.
Not much drama left in this one, guys.
No, it hasn't quite exactly been a nail-biter. I mean, it's going to be a great win for them, though.
26 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Hamilton outside. That's tipped. Stolen by Carter. All alone. Oh, took the contact and tried to throw it down over the top. But instead, he'll shoot free throws. That one on Rose. So the first one drops, and that brings them within single digits. Carter hits them both. Teague with the ball.
Defensive foul. Marcus Teague. At the line for the Bulls, 2 shots.
First free throw is good, and that will put them up by 9. And he's unable to get the second one.
And that should be enough to get the job done, even though he didn't get all of them.
Carter for three. No what? And so it's Chicago winning this one. They pulled off this win, Clark, with respectable performances on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I think it was just really a nice overall effort, Kevin.
Well, it's time to say so long. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan, along with our 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. Now it's time to present our Jordan